Ever get hooked on those survival stories? The ones that make you think, how could anyone possibly make it through that?
Yeah, totally.
Well, get ready, because today we're taking a deep dive into a story that takes Against All Odds to a whole new level. We're talking 76 days lost at sea.
Wow. 76, that's a long time.
It is. And we're going right to the source for this one, Steven Callahan's own account in Adrift. But this isn't just about surviving the elements. It's about a level of resilience that's almost hard to grasp, the ingenuity of one man pushed to the absolute limit. And honestly, it's about this kind of, unexpected bond that forms between this guy and the ocean, this massive force of nature that's trying to kill him.
So right off the bat, what gets me about Callahan's story is the suddenness of it all. I mean, one minute he's sailing across the Atlantic, solo trip, and then bam, something hits his boat and it sinks.
Just like that, he's totally alone on a tiny life raft in the middle of the Atlantic. I can't even imagine.
It's a total nightmare scenario. And what's crazy is, amidst all that chaos and shock, Callahan manages to grab a few essential things as the boat's going down. A solar still, some food, navigation tools.
That solar still must have been a lifesaver. Was that standard equipment back then?
Yeah, pretty common. But actually using it effectively out on the open ocean, that's a whole other story.
I bet.
Callahan actually goes into detail in the book about the constant work it took. Keeping the still filled, dealing with salt spray, adjusting it constantly as the sun moved. It wasn't enough just to have it, you know? He needed this incredible focus and discipline to make it work, day after day.
It's that problem-solving part of his story that I find so incredible. I mean, he doesn't just survive, he almost thrives. He uses his knowledge and whatever he can scavenge to actually improve his situation out there. Like the spear gun, right? That wasn't just for catching fish.
No, not at all. He talks about how he modified the spear, used wire from the wreckage to make different tips for catching different kinds of fish. He even used it to harvest barnacles off the raft.
Wow. Talk about resourceful.
Exactly. And it's that constant innovation, that refusal to just give up, that really sets this story apart.
All that's just the physical side of things. What really blows my mind is the mental aspect. 76 days alone, storms, sharks. How does someone even begin to cope with that?
That's what makes Callahan's story so much more than just a survival tale. You know, he talks about creating routines, almost like rituals, to mark time, to keep some kind of order in his life.
That makes sense.
He was meticulous about keeping a logbook, not just recording events, but his thoughts and feelings too, almost like he was fighting back against that crushing loneliness.
Just the act of writing, of documenting his experience, that must have given him a purpose, a reason to keep going.
Absolutely. And he found solace in the smallest things. You know, watching the ocean wildlife, the changing colors of the sky. He even describes feeling a connection with the creatures around him, like he was part of this larger ecosystem.
That's powerful. Almost like a spiritual experience. Finding connection in the middle of complete isolation.
Right. It shows just how adaptable the human spirit is. The ability to find meaning and even beauty in the most unexpected places. And honestly, that constant observation, that awareness of his surroundings, it probably helped him survive, kept him alert, present.
And then, after 76 days, the impossible happens. Fishermen spot him near Guadeloupe. Talk about relief. But it also makes you wonder, what kind of long-term impact did this experience have on him?
Well, I think that's where Adrift gets really interesting. It goes beyond just the events themselves. It's this deep reflection on what it means to be human, you know?
Yeah.
To face our limits and somehow find the strength to push past them.
Definitely.
It's about resilience, absolutely. But also acceptance, resourcefulness, and this kind of unexpected appreciation for the power and beauty of nature.
Yeah, you don't usually think about beauty when you think about being stranded in the middle of the ocean.
Right. But he finds it.
His story has definitely become this touchstone for people, hasn't it? This reminder that even in the absolute darkest moments, there's still that spark of hope and resilience inside us.
It's a story that taps into something universal, you know? We've all faced challenges, times where we've had to dig deep and find that inner strength. Callahan's experience, it takes that to an extreme, but the core message, it resonates with everyone.
Absolutely. Steven Callahan's 76 Days Adrift, it's a testament to what we're capable of. And it leaves us with this question, something to think about. What part of his story really stuck with you? Was it the physical challenges he overcame, those mental strategies he used to stay sane, or maybe that unexpected connection he felt with the ocean? It's worth pondering. And if you want the full story, every gripping detail, I highly recommend checking out Adrift. It's an incredible read.
I'll second that.
Thanks for joining me on this deep dive. It's been, kind of amazing to explore this story. Until next time.